Here comes the field for tonight's ninth race, the Tompkins Geers stake for 2-year-old fillies. Second division, purse of $25,000, once again sponsored by Plaza Auto Dealerships. Number 1 is Durbin, owned by Roger Hammer, Glenn Wenzel, and Daniel Mock, driven by Roger Hammer. 2, Hollywood Madam, owned by Sam Noble Jr., driven by Chip Noble. Next will be number 3, Geers Bud Light, owned by Terry Gillen, driven by David Miller. Forest Polished Satin, owned by Edward Geer and Dorothy Geer with Del S. Miller. Number 5 is Ombre Fantasy, owned by Michael Bardo. Mike Welder will be in the sulky. And number 6, Keystone Romance, has been scratched. Field for the ninth, the Tompkins Geers, post time in 4 minutes. Field for tonight's ninth race is at the gate and moving through the turn. Field is in behind starter John Betts, Durbin, and Roger Hammer. Chip Noble, Hollywood Madam. 3, Geers Bud Light, and David Miller. Number 4, Polished Satin, and Del S. Miller. 5, Ombre Fantasy, and Mike Wilder. Field is now in motion. And there they go. They're off and pacing. Polished Satin on the far outside takes the lead. Hollywood Madam between horses. Durbin along the rail. Geers Bud Light is in the 4th. Ombre Fantasy 5th on the outside. They're flying to the first turn. Well off the rail out in the middle of the racetrack. Polished Satin's got a 4-length lead. Hollywood Madam is in the 2nd. Durbin is 3rd. Geers Bud Light is 4th. And after that, it's Ombre Fantasy as they move by this opening quarter-mile pole in 28-3. They're off that top turn and racing past the stands. Out on top, it's Polished Satin by an easy 2. Hollywood Madam a closer 2nd. After that, it's Durbin 3rd. Next in line comes Geers Bud Light. Ombre Fantasy will wait for the others to pull. Around the clubhouse, turn to the half-mile pole. Polished Satin continues to lead the way. Hollywood Madam is stalking 2nd, prompting from 3rd Durbin. Waiting for the closers to move, Geers Bud Light and Ombre Fantasy. They're at the half in 1 minute and 2/5. They're out of the turn and down the backstretch. Ombre Fantasy makes the first move to the outside. Bouncing right along, it's still Polished Satin, the leader. Ombre Fantasy carts up on the outside. Hollywood Madam is next. Along the rail, Durbin is in the 4th. Geers Bud Light 5th on the outside as they move to 3/4. 3 parts of a length for the every step pace setter. Polished Satin at her wheel, disc in 2nd. Ombre Fantasy by 3/4 in 1:30. Moving around the far turn, Polished Satin continues to lead the way. Very wide and very wide on the outside, Ombre Fantasy, as the field straightens away. Polished Satin has got the top. Geers Bud Light is closing with every stride along the rail. Polished Satin, Geers Bud Light. Polished Satin, wire to wire, 2nd division, Tompkins Geers, 158-1. Result of the ninth now official. Top down, Durbin 5th, Hollywood Madam 3rd, Geers Bud Light 2nd, Polished Satin the winner. Ombre Fantasy was 4th, Keystone Romance was scratched. 5-3-2, 1-4 scratch. The mile was 158-1. Returning to the winner's circle from the Tompkins Geers stake, 2-year-old pacing fillies, sponsored by Plaza Auto Dealerships. Winner number 4, Polished Satin, 2-year-old bay filly by Lifestyle out of Summer Child, owned by Edward and Dorothy Geer of Lakewood in Denver, Colorado. Trained by Jim Allridge Jr., driven tonight coast to coast by Del S. Miller. Covering the mile here in 158-1. Number 4, Polished Satin, the winner of tonight's 2nd division Tompkins Geers Stakes. Post time in 14 minutes at 10:40. Del S. Miller driving 7 U.S. News. 4-3 exactly, 11:40. The try, $29.80.